West Nile TV. Meyuder Ingamwa. West Nile TV. Meyuder Ingamwa.
It was another good day for, that is, the under-20 women qualifiers, and the lady herself, of course, by the names of Nakalime, had a very good run. And Ayub Khalifa has also mentioned and named a 20, of course, a 20 team squad that will be having training sessions in there. But all in all, it is one of the biggest things happening in the region and, of course, in the country. Now, if you look at what is happening also the other side, Bull Football Club, someone would say a depleted Bull Football Club, but of course I would say Bull Football Club had a very good run against Express Football Club, who were the champions after, of course, the game ended prematurely and were given that chance to win the trophy. Of course, in league, that matters. I'm talking about the Uganda Premier League, and Oscar, the Brazilian, always says that it is not the league that matters, but of course a league that has a lot of unprofessionalism. He asks a question of why this game was cancelled off, and of course Uganda Cup still continued. So it was this Uganda Cup semi-finals, and Bull will be facing Vipers Sports Club in the finals. And of course, Oscar today joins me in the studios once again. Most welcome and good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon to you, and the same old story still continues. How you guys do your thing in Uganda, it still continues. And I'm not surprised. I'm also getting used. I am slowly adapting to the ways of how things are done in Uganda.
Bull Football Club had 3 names recruited in their team, and of course added a technical team in, of course, space to see that they cover up, of course, what is happening in their team. But let's start with this. Where will this take Bull? Where will this take Viper Sports Club? What will they gain from the Uganda Premier League?
That's exactly what I've been asking myself. You have already URA representing Uganda in the CAF confederations. You have Express, who are just been ejected from the CAF Champions League. So what will it be for any team, any of these teams, to win, apart from that pride of money? To me, I think basically this is just all about accountability, because there's nothing you are going to be. They could have just awarded URA. You know what? You are the champions. You are going to be representing, and you have this money given out. But again, they needed to get somebody on paper whom they are going to say, okay, this one has won. We have given this money. The sponsor, we have accounted you. We have the photos. I think that's basically what these guys are up to. Otherwise, it makes no sense to carry on with the Uganda Cup, and yet you aborted the Uganda Premier League. You awarded it to Express, and now you have again chosen URA to represent Uganda at the CAF confederations, but still you want to confuse people around to have Uganda Cup continuing, and you're telling us that Bull and Vipers are going to be playing in the finals. Uganda never ceases to amaze me.
Now, one of the biggest things you could be talking about is Uganda Cup itself. Express, that everyone expected were to maybe have a very good run because they were the champions, were ejected out of the Champions League already. URA, that was the runners-up, probably you could say, are still in the Confederation Cup, doing a little bit better. But what does that mean for Express? Even in this mere Uganda Cup here, they can still not contain it, and they are out of the league. And could we say it was a rushy decision, just like we could anticipate, that FIFA gave this out, then Express was not ready to take over the Champions League slot?
Well, I think this comes a lot to, yes, I partly agree with, I think I 80% agree with what you have said. At what level was Express competing before they were given that slot? Me, I just get to believe that I think FIFA has had this, they just wanted to balance some things, not literally looking at having a team that can compete that can win the Uganda Premier League, because they could have delayed the Uganda Premier League and wait until those few games are played. They could say, okay, no fans, only need players, and we have to play it centrally. Maybe we choose a place and have
All teams go there.
All teams go there, or maybe it's a one-on-one case. Maybe you go there, you play your three games, and then the other side also goes and plays their games. I think that would have saved us something. Let's compare Express with the Ugandan teams that have been competing at Uganda and both the CAF Confederations and the CAF Champions League. Let's take Express, for example, under Mike Mutebi. Can you compare Express with that team of KCCA under Mike Mutebi? You just look at the comparison of the players. When they had the likes of Ibrahim Saddam Jumas, they had the likes of this one who went to play for Montreal Impact, Martin Kiza, the likes of Alan Okello. You meet that team by far, even when they had the likes of Muhammad Shaban. That team by far to me was one of the best teams assembled, that they can compete domestically and they can go internationally and compete at the level of CAF. That team, even if it's coming to meet any other side, you will by far look at the quality of the players and you see, yes, this is a team that can compete. Look at Vipers' team, for example, the team that went once or twice to play at that level. The Vipers team was a complete team, a very good team. The Fahad Bios were in a very, very good side that can actually take you somewhere. So I feel, I don't know what decision. I think FUFA just succumbed to that call from Nachiwala that, you know what, just end the league and declare Express the champions. I think there's a lot of interest that we have, and that still comes to professionalism. We are not professional enough.
But Mulindwa did say it's okay. You can end this game because this is the same thing that happened in Vipers some time back.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's just an appeasement policy for me. You just want to appease some clubs and some individuals. Yes, it happened in favor of Vipers at one point. Now it also happened in favor of Express. Now look at where it has ended for Express. Not even getting past one team. Just past one team. What if Express was supposed to meet a team in Morocco? Maybe Raja Casablanca. Maybe you play Al Hilal. What was going to happen? What was the scoreline going to be like? To me, I really literally think Uganda Premier League, at one point you may think it is a little superior when it gets to the Sekafa region. Perform well. They went to Sekafa, won the Sekafa Kagame Cup, came back. Now everyone set the bar high for Express, thinking Express, even we expected at least Express with that level of experience now after playing at that level, they should have gotten past at least one team. Then maybe wait for which other team is actually going to come. To my dismay, I think Express was not ready to represent us at CAF level. They were still not yet ready. You look, I think most of the players have not had that experience of playing top level games. You're playing against established players, established clubs. Having that feel of playing on artificial turf. Most teams actually have been struggling. Even here, when teams are going to play against the KCCA, even Police at one point was playing at the same grounds. You find teams that have never played on the artificial turf, they will struggle. So I think those are some of the things that really, to me, I thought Express was not yet ready to represent us at CAF level. I think it's an eye-opener. Next time, let us wait as much as possible to get the right team to represent us at that level. Let that team compete at and win, not the team being awarded. Yes, I know at one point someone might be thinking that, you know what, there's a rule that states that. Yes, I agree, there's that rule. But look at how do you sell the Uganda Premier League beyond the boundaries of Uganda?
No, that's one of the biggest things that is happening. But of course, if you look at what exactly is happening, Bull Football Club will be taking on Viper Sports Club, and a game that you could be saying in there, is Bull ready to face Vipers, or is Vipers ready to face Bull? Because Bull has a lot of reshufflement that has come in the team, and of course, a very good start for that is the new coach Roberto, for that is Team Viper Sports Club in there. Could we see maybe this is the beginning of his success, maybe winning the trophy for Viper Sports Club?
Well, I think it will be a good CV for him, but what will come after this, I think that will be the most interesting thing to look at. to look out for. Yes, anything can happen. They can lose in this game, they can win, but still you look at the stakes are high for Vipers actually to go on to win against Bull. Bull is yet to be rebuilt. They're not that as strong as they used to be under Peter Onen. I remember when they started the league under Peter Onen, it was a good side. Bull was actually at the summit of the table. But if you look at Bull now, I'm thinking Vipers might have an easy run, though any other thing can happen in the game of football. But what will come after the Uganda Premier League is what I'll be so much interested. After the Uganda Cup, that to me means nothing in terms of only just somebody walking away with the trophy and the prize money, but in terms of what can you get from the Uganda Premier League, because the proceeds directly should have been a team playing at the level of CAF Confederations. I would be so much happy to see if Vipers wins, they'll be playing representing us in the CAF Confederations. But after here, what will Vipers get apart from the money and the trophy?
They will wait for Uganda Premier League.
They will wait for Uganda Premier League. It means nothing. So what will happen for the new coach that will be after the Uganda Cup is what I'll be looking out for. Can he take Vipers back to the summit of the table? Can Vipers win? Can Vipers be a team that can represent us at the CAF Confederations level? This is what I'm interested in.
A very big one. Vipers will be taking on Bull, and I'm waiting to see how that game will be at the Technical Center in Jeru, and that's one of the biggest games probably somebody would be expecting to watch, because it is one game that has been, of course, Uganda is trying to say. I did see Magogo say that if you want football to develop, put all games live on TV. Maybe one day West Nile TV will also have a game to cover in here and see how things will be going. But of course, it's one of the biggest things coming in there. Now, leaving that there, one player I wanted us to talk about is the man by the name of Manzoki, who has got more of probably the goals for Vipers last season, and this season he's also still doing good. But you have the likes of Eunice Sentamu in that team also, a very competitive team, and a couple of names in that team who are very, very good. Let's talk about Manzoki. He scored 2 goals against the Police Football Club team, and it was a very, very good one for that is the team of Vipers. I watched the game. I looked at the way he was scoring. He was very stable. He had nothing else that could intimidate him. Very good striker for this. Would we say again another savior, the Congolese international, your man from Congo, Manzoki?
That would be. I don't know whether it would be an overstatement, but I have seen foreign-based players that have not so much succeeded at Team Vipers and in the Uganda Premier League. It's not the first Congolese international to play. You remember Mbaye Clovis?
Yeah.
Bought for a lot of money, I think more than 75, more than 70 million, I think, or should be in the region of 70 million. Sometime back, should be in the season 2016-17 or 17-18, somewhere there. Mbaye Clovis, the only goal I remember him scoring was at the Kacheka Stadium, where the pitch was waterlogged. It got that very controversial goal. I think that was the only time heard about Mbaye Clovis, and again, Mbaye Clovis no longer there at Team Vipers. But starting on a higher note, any player can succeed in this league, so long as you are determined and you know what you actually want. So I think him coming and getting those goals consistently, Molindwa is a businessman, looking at a player who can get for him goals in double figures. Maybe you can get 17 goals plus this season, then the following season, Raya Casablanca, Ashdod of Vietnam, he has those links, and that's one of the most beautiful things with Soccer Club Vipers. They always recruit with a purpose, or recruit this player because he has a potential. We'll make him shine for just one season, we'll sell him off. Whatever will happen to him afterwards, none of our business. I think that's one of the business strategies that Molindwa has. That's all where we should be seeing all clubs from West Nile positioning. They need to position themselves in that way. You get players, build their potential, and then look at how you can sell these players. There's no West Nile team that has sold a player at a commanding price. We're yet waiting to see that. But I think if Vipers can get the best out of this player, they will sell him. They can even sell him back to the Congolese League. We know of clubs who are actually doing well.
Mazembes.
Yes. So I think it's a good strategy. That's one of the things that motivates me to have an academy every day.
We are going to be taking a break, but of course, before we take that break, I want to say we're coming back to discuss about professionalism, because Uganda is one of the countries that probably we feel lack a lot of professionalism now. That they are bringing in professionalism. Is it too soon for them? How has this professionalism been brought in the sports or in the football fraternity also affected the players and the coaches and the clubs at large? Let's take a break. Stay hooked to West Nile TV, and it's the whistle time.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
The weekend comes with a lot of action in the English Premier League, but we'll be coming back to talk about that. And you're still on the whistle time right here. My name is Owen, and of course Oscar the Brazilian still in the studios as we will be getting to you and start talking about what exactly you feel we really need to give you now. Let's start about the professionalism of the sports. But most especially, the football is one of the things. Now, Federation of Uganda Football Association, you did see them come up with the pro agenda, or the pro agenda that, of course, they took to every region. And West Nile, I was at least one of the lucky ones who attended it at one of the places in West Nile, in Arua here. And it is one thing that, of course, they were talking about bringing in professionalism. And professionalism starts with you as a person, and of course, the club comes in there. Now, it is one thing that FIFA is trying to implement, and they even said they will be reducing the number of teams to 12 in the Uganda Premier League to make sure that the football is professional enough to get into every other thing. Let's look at this. How has this affected clubs, players, let me say stakeholders in this football fraternity?
A lot, but I've said this somewhere else, I'll say this again. I don't support the idea of having the number of teams in the Uganda Premier League reduced from 16
to 12.
Because that would mean like as if you're playing round robin. You play like home and like you play three
games, yeah.
Which to me doesn't make sense. It's like I think the countries that have adopted that, Northern Ireland, have actually been doing that. The number of teams are few, and so they play many games. I am not so much a fan of that because the teams are yet struggling. Let's say if Ondo Paraka is to play Mbarara City 3 times, like twice, so those number of travels, is FIFA going to be giving in a lot of money maybe to cater for players' transport for clubs? Because you have to make that switch. It comes with a lot of cost, by the way, moving twice. You move from here, you go to Mbarara again, for them they will come here once, you go there again. Because there are high chances that you may either play a team twice away or you play them twice at home, twice. So to me, I don't see that adding up. Instead, we should be aiming at adding the number of teams and making big league like the way the format they're going to be playing it, of having this number of teams playing in like a one league, not like in two
regions, Elgon group and
in two groups. But professionalism has affected all the stakeholders, both positively and negatively. The positive side is that we are now seeing players who can get contracts, players who can negotiate and get paid, and players can now earn something from the game. It's not something we used to see so common those days. I don't think if the likes of the Lewin Peach, the likes of Caesar Okuti at Ediofe Hills really had professional contracts. It was much more of playing so that with the time you can make a move and get something somewhere. I think in West Nile we are actually I think the emergence of Ondoparaka made that a little. We took that to another step for me. Arua Hill coming in, I believe that there's something that's really going to come up. Arua Hill, before it became Arua Hill, Aziz Damani, I think there was something players would get really. You would see players from Central coming to play this side. That was a plus for me. You see all other people who matter in the game of football getting paid. The coaches as well sign contracts. Though you find situation where assistant coach, a coach who is with a lower level of qualification becoming a head coach, the one who is much more qualified is an assistant. These are some of the things you'll see. But by far, players have benefited from the professionalism. Let me say the stakeholders have benefited to a degree. I should say 70, not 70%. The benefits are a little bit there. When you talk of the positives, can be about 40%, but 60% professionalism has killed Ugandan football. That is actually one of the things that is dragging Ugandan football backwards.
Now, when we look at this, he has talked about the benefits of the professionalism being brought in Uganda. The question would be, one of the biggest thing is, where these people, the clubs, the stakeholders, very ready for professionalism in Uganda?
Well, that's a very interesting question, and I feel these stakeholders were not prepared. They were not really prepared. I think this should be a challenge also to the likes of Ahmed Hussein, that they should be looking into this issue of professionalism. They should have all stakeholders engaged and all of them empowered, looking at their roles. One other thing is educating people where the benefits would actually come in and how they should deal with the benefits, what can they actually do to take them a step further. I'll look at the situation where, let's say if a government project is coming on board, what they do if that project is going to affect the community, let's say it's going to be looking at a relocation of a community, what the concerned people would do, they will come on ground, hold community sensitization meetings, try to see what opportunities will come out of that project, and the displacement will come with also a fee. Some people are going to be given money to relocate to places of their choice, and now these people are going to be having access to a lot of money that they should be educated in how they should use that money. Because some people, they get money, let's say today you are going to be moved away from this place and you're going to be given 500 million. You have never in your life handled 500 million. So you should be having a plan. If I'm going to be having 500 million, what should I do? First of all, maybe I should be buying land somewhere. I should invest in some other things. I should put that money into a productive use, knowing that I'm going to leave this place forever. But where I am going to should take me in a way that I should have benefited. I will get the money should have an positive impact in my life. Now that's one of the things that did not happen when professionalism, when Ugandan League was getting professional. These players, mostly the players, by the way, were not well sensitized, because they now have access to money, but they don't have the knowledge of how to use the money very well. What did the likes of PH use their money for? Can you go on ground and see this is something tangible they actually did? Now, the other thing that really has affected the player development in Uganda and beyond is the issue of sign-on fee. We keep saying this. A player is going to be signing 20 million. Just like that, they just give you the 20 million. But the player doesn't know what to do with the money. Issues of women come in, issues of I need to dress well, I need to be going to eating expensive hotels, I need to dress expensively. By the time you know it, the 2 years coming, the player has nothing to show apart from I ate in this place, I also went out with the other one, I did this. Very useless things that the players could actually count in. You do not find players who can tell you, with the sign-on fee, the 20 million I got, I bought a piece of land, I've put out rentals, I am actually furthering my education, because most of the players who come here, I expected them to have taken advantage of institutions within. You enroll. I only knew of Hassan Mahmoud, who was studying at university. So we have these universities within. You should be enrolling and seeing after football, or in the morning I go and study. After there I come back and I train, because that's where and then I keep bettering my career, both in academics and the other side.
Before we go even much, one thing you've seen players struggle, and it has affected them very much, I think, because interviews have been one of the biggest things for players. You can't interview a player and he speaks to you so good that I think that could be the reason why some players even fail to appear in front of journalists, cameras. They fear, because if you look at what is happening right now, professionally, you need to be prepared for every other thing.
Yeah.
Now, you've just talked about education. I've only seen one graduate, maybe I could say, maybe others are there, but one graduate by the names of Alioune Nafia,
Yeah.
who is so much in football, but he has started. So, where does this education help them? Is it only in football or elsewhere?
Well, you see, in football is a game that does not take forever. There's a lifespan for it. When you reach at the age of 30, however much you try to reduce your age, it will catch up with you. It will always show. There's a moment beyond which your body, it can't take you further. So that's why you should be having the plan after football. That may actually stop me at the age of 30, 35. So after 35, what should I do? If you have the level of education, we have institutions like the police, URA, UPDF, Maroons. I think these people always offer platforms. After that, they can incorporate those who have been players into their system. So players should be looking at taking this advantage. Now, if you're not educated, at least if you have a level of diploma, what I know, you can have a rank of, maybe you get maybe a star. If you look at institutions like Maroons, Police, or UPDF, and there are several other jobs that can come within those institutions. You look at the URIs. Now, if Nafia will retire one day because there's been a loyal player with them, don't you think it will be easier for him if opportunity comes for him to get into the system of URI? May I feel these are opportunities why you need to study, because you should look at things beyond. And we have also seen that most of these players who actually play, even in Europe, most of them are graduates. You look at Radamel Falcao, has a bachelor's degree in journalism. You look at Arsene Wenger, had a master's in economics.
Recently, Rashford was still enrolling.
See, so it is very, very important. And of course, people who have had a profession, there's a way they do their things differently. There's a lot of discipline in how you should handle the job you have at hand. That's why most of the players who have not had professional backgrounds only look at, let me get the sign-on fee, let me sign 2 years, I go the other side, I get sign-on fee. The whole essence is about sign-on fee, sign-on fee, sign-on fee. But what are you using this sign-on fee for? Are you using it for investment? Are you using it to better your career? Are you using it to be of a benefit to the society? I've not seen a player who has maybe started up an academy, who has maybe said, okay, today we are going to do charity, let us come and mobilize, we do something that we can give back to the community. It's all about myself, myself, myself. To me, I think these players were not prepared enough. The money has become like gambling for them. You get this money, you use it because you think tomorrow you're going to get this. And that's why there are few players who can leave Ondo Paraka today, or you leave Arua Hill today, go to another club, shine there, and have a vision of me, I want to go and play football outside. Few of them, they are not prepared.
You've just reminded me of Ondo Paraka Football Club, and of course one of the things still which is engaged in with professionalism. You could be talking about one thing that has come in there is, of course, Arak is saying Awujo is their player, whom of course they did unveil recently. But of course, this is a player who has come up from the Ondo Paraka or the Ondo Nyiris, and how did he cross over that way? How did he become here? So those are some of the things coming in there, though we shall have a lot in there.
But honestly, I ask myself, was the Ondo Nyiri project still there? was it still there? For somebody who has actually followed the club, was it still there? I don't think it was there. That was a project of, to me, the person who took the project on his shoulders was Okwai Dennis Jawoko. None of these guys were even involved, including from the top management. I have been with those people and I have seen what those guys have gone through. I wonder if somebody says this is a player who has been with the Onduparaka under 17. Was the under 17 even there? Most of the players who are playing, was Onduparaka even thinking of them? You reach a point where the boys are going to play, they have not even had lunch. The pitch is not marked. The boys even don't have water on the touchline. The coach is even not there. So were the boys there? Were they really components of Onduparaka?
But it was Ondunyere still. Ondunyere belongs to Onduparaka.
After the whole of last season, after how long do the licenses expire? After how long? Were they contracted? I don't think so. After how long do licenses of these under 17 players expire? Because when was the last time the under 17 league was played? But
it's one thing, I think, one thing you could be talking about is this still was an Onduparaka project. Of course, being an Onduparaka project, just like how
it was an Onduparaka project.
Of course.
For now, I doubt whether that player Onduparaka should be playing less than player.
Let's look at a player coming in from the ranks of Onduparaka. Still, you can have a way come back to the team. Why am I saying this? Because you've seen Olu Kawa Rashid. His saga, he was the Oli Rising Star for quite a long time. He even left Oli, went to soccer. But coming to Arua Hill, it is still Oli claiming in there.
Let me chip in this way. The issue of Kawa Rashid was very unique in the way that there was a contractual agreement. You and I saw that copy. There was a contractual agreement that we were letting out this player to go to Doves or Stars by then. So this player is going to play on loan. But again, there was another call from the former technical director that we need now this player permanently, and there was that agreement that, you know what, you will give us this money and this number of items, the balls, the jerseys, to help us, just to appreciate us. That was clearly stated, and that was the reason why Oli Rising Soccer Academy came to claim for what actually was theirs, because the agreement was there. Now look, which any other Onduparaka under 17 player had an agreement? We should ask ourselves this. I don't think there was a stated.
Yeah, that's one thing, but of course, to me, I think it doesn't take you away from being a former Onduparaka.
Yes, he was a former Onduparaka player.
Of course, now, the challenge will come. How did this player cross over to Araka? How did he get into the system of Araka? Of course, very many things would come in.
Because
still, if Onduparaka gets into this, yes, it doesn't stop, of course, Onduparaka in there. One, just matter of talking to Araka Football Club, this has been our player.
Yes, it can be sorted out. We groomed him, yes.
Yes, you took over, but of course, trust me, Onduparaka has also put a lot in these players.
It is true, I agree, but to honestly say that Onduparaka owns that player will be an overstatement for me. Because I know that these players did not sign contracts. If there is any, we need to let somebody bring the contracts we see. I don't think so. Because when you leave, I've seen several others who have left, have come into the junior team of Arua Hill, and then others who have come to Arua Soccer Academy. I've seen them play because I've been there attending those trainings. Also, my training as well as an aspiring coach. I have met most of those players, but honestly speaking, I think it is just a claim, but there was no contractual agreement. If 14 players can be released, what should happen to the under 17 when the league for like the past two seasons has not been active? Is there any lines? Is there anything that shows these players are still in the system of Onduparaka? Is there anything? These players, can they make their moves? Because a player needs to look at, for the whole of those 2 years, can a player just stay redundant just like that? So I think there should be some. That all comes to what we're discussing. Professionalism. That's where the bickering between Arua Hill or Rising Soccer Academy has been coming because of lack of professionalism. You can't unveil a player because before you can contact the parent club. Where does this happen? Have you ever seen this happening anywhere in Europe? That should have actually come with a ban on Arua Hill, by the way, on signing players. It should have been banned. because that is unprofessional. You are unveiling a player before you contact the parent club, and FIFA just sees it like that. You find on the other side as well. I told you of a scenario where a player was made to sign a contract, but things have not yet been fulfilled because the club said, you know what, we are running out of time. First sign, then we shall sort out the other things. How does this work out really? So honestly, how you guys do your things in Uganda, I'm adapting slowly.
Let's leave that there, but of course a couple of things still happening on Lubaraka Football Club. We're waiting for their official statement to see whether exactly they will be coming up with a statement to put across that, because it was regarded as a fake news by, that is, Raka Football Club of unveiling their player in there. We're waiting to see what exactly comes out right there, but of course a lot of lows and highs in bringing in the professionalism in Uganda, which has of course affected a lot from the region. Now let's leave that there, but of course take a break. We'll be right back to give you more of the in-depth analysis.
Honestly, as we get to that, I think the other important aspect we're leaving is that the lack of professionalism, the way let's say the transfers are done and other things that still come back to sign-on fee, has encouraged a lot of corruption in this league. A lot of corruption in a way that I know of clubs and in fact the head coaches who benefit a lot from sign-on fee. You get a player, you tell this player, you know what, we are going to give you 20 million. You even tell this player, your worth is not 20 million. You will just part ways with like 7 million, and that's still a lot for a player who has never seen 5 million. Because they don't even have agents, they don't have people who can educate them on how these things are supposed to be done, on how contracts are supposed to be interpreted, on even there are some clauses players don't understand because they are not educated. The basics are not told to them. That's why we need the services of those who have the legal knowledge. Even I would think that those who are studying, who actually vying to become agents, should have basic knowledge of the laws of the game. How contracts are supposed to be stipulated, how contracts are supposed to be interpreted, where a player is supposed to sign, where a player is not supposed to sign. So you find there's a lot of corruption. I give you 5 million, so the 15 is mine. You know your worth is not that, but on paper you're going to sign to it. It's happening everywhere. I even know of these clubs even within West Nile. That is what is happening.
Do you have evidence?
I have, but I will not be able to put it here. But that is what is actually. That's actually what is.
One thing that is happening. But
Yes.
now, how can that be stopped?
Getting professional in the way that players and we need to have agents empowered. We need to have many agents who can negotiate on behalf of players, and it is stated clearly an agent will have a percentage of the amount of money. Either a club is getting directly out of the sale of a player, or a player is getting directly out of the sign-on fee. An agent has a percentage, and then FIFA needs to come out strongly to detect these kind of things of fraud. That needs to be to be stopped. People need to come out clearly. Players need to open up that you know what, I was made to sign this, but I received this, so that these checks and balances are actually put in place. We've seen the other time when Lubaraka raised a red flag about being approached to have a match fixed. Those are some of the things you need to make sure that we paint a good picture of the league. Professionalism starts with you. So if you're not willing to take up that challenge, it will not easily come.
Maybe we shall take a time one day and meet the FIFA president or the FIFA PRO and see what exactly they will be telling us about this. And more of this will always be coming in there to see that we give you and educate you about the sports, because we're seeing a lot of things going astray. But of course, we need to bring them back in our own way and make sure that the professionalism is brought in there. Can corruption be stopped in Uganda? And that's one thing in there. Somebody some time back said, a fish starts rotting from the top or from the head. Let's wait and see how exactly that will be. But of course, stay tuned yet again. As we take a break, we'll be coming back to give you the international stories, a couple of games coming in the weekend, and of course, we'll be giving you a highlight of a few and give you more analysis of the games still tomorrow. It's another big one, and it's the whistle time on West Nile TV.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region. West Nile TV, lighting up the region.
stories internationally. Just like I did tell you, tomorrow we'll be discussing about the games that will be played tomorrow, of course. But for today, we want to talk about some of the few transfer speculations and rumors moving internationally. And of course, clubs are preparing already for January transfer. And out of this, a lot is expected to come out from different angles. And one of the biggest is the man who scored that goal for Arsenal Football Club. I'm talking about Alexandre Lacazette, who has been one of the key names for Arsenal. But of course, Mikel Arteta is not yet seeing best of the value out of Alexandre Lacazette. Now, as I talk right now, Barcelona Football Club are looking forward that they need the man by the name of Alexandre Lacazette, who has been, of course, a key player for Arsenal, I could say. But this time round, he's not getting the time playing consistently. You see, in the Premier League, he's not there. But of course, in Carabao, he had a very good run and gave hard time to the defenders right there. Let's look at Arsenal Football Club in there. They could lose Alexandre Lacazette in the week, in the January transfer window, and Barcelona are looking forward for the signature of this player. Will he be a key figure in Barcelona? Probably Barcelona under Ronald Koeman, who is still the coach.
Well, it's one of the things that I've actually been thinking of, like, yes, Alexandre Lacazette. One of the things I hate about Mikel Arteta is the way he doesn't see the potential of Alexandre Lacazette. That there is no box striker better than Alexandre Lacazette. And you need that type of strength of a player inside the box. And that is where Aubameyang doesn't score anything for me when it gets to being a box. Being beating players in tight space, dribbling in tight space and scoring from angles somebody doesn't expect you to, someone staying fit is the person you can count on. So I don't know what type of eye Mikel Arteta uses for actually trying to analyze that. Maybe he thinks Alexandre Lacazette is not that type of player, but is a player who is reliable so long as he's flanked by the right type of players. Now, how do you expect a player like Alexandre Lacazette to score when you have playmakers like Martin Odegaard, Smith Rowe, the players like Balogun? What do you really expect from Alexandre Lacazette? Do you expect him to be that workaholic who will run all over the pitch, create his assist by himself? I mean, there are some units in that team of Arsenal that's not working. The creativity bit is not there. The last games that Odegaard has played, how many chances has he created? Those are some of the things that to me I look critically. Why some other players who are functioning, even players like Emmanuel Adebayo at Arsenal were scoring many goals. Why don't you not score goals when you have the likes of Samir Nasri in the team? When you have the likes of Cesc Fabregas in the team? When you have even Son himself is creating chances from a deep line playmaking role? You have the likes of Alexander Leb, you have the likes of Thomas Rosicky. Why on earth won't you score goals? You will have to score those goals because the avenues of creating those chances are there. Now you have let go of a player like Mesut Ozil. But instead of bringing another creative player who can as well score and create chances, you're bringing Martin Odegaard, who as well did not want to stay at Arsenal, wanted to be at Real Madrid until Carlo Ancelotti told him, you're not in my plans. You go ahead to splash 30 million on this type of player. When you have the likes of the Takumi Minamino, you have the likes of James Maddison, you have very many good players, even the likes of Todd Cantwell at Norwich, to me, who are far much better players. The Emiliano Buendas, who was snatched from the noses of Arsenal by Aston Villa, who could have actually come to Team Arsenal, to me, would have been better options. Now, Alexandre Lacazette at Camp Nou, I still think it's going to be a duplication. You already have Sergio Kun Aguero, you've signed for free, you brought into that team. Sergio Kun Aguero is equally the same like Alexandre Lacazette. He's a player who is a fox in the box. He can get for you those goals, the goals you want, he can get for you. They almost have the same attributes. Good in the air, good with the ball, good with or without the ball, good at positioning. They have it. So why do you need Alexandre Lacazette when you already have a player in the name of Sergio Kun Aguero? That's where Ronald Koeman is underscoring for me. Maybe because the post-Messi era is turning out to be a nightmare for anyone who goes there. And on the other side, I think the best club for Alexander Lacazette is Atletico Madrid, not Barcelona.
You go and replace Diego Costa?
And
Luis Suarez?
Yes, because you have only Andrea Correa. And then apart from Andrea Correa, there is Luis Suarez. Yes, Luis Suarez can be, but are you going to have him? Is he going to be reliable? Because at one point he may not be there. But Alexander, like the two strikers, sometimes because Diego Simeone is a fan of playing two strikers. Most times also likes playing 4-4-2. So you can have those two strikers. Luis Suarez as well can work as a workaholic. He can play behind another striker. He's flexible. Can also play from the flanks. So you need that type of a player like Alexander Lacazette can flourish best in Atletico Madrid.
And that is Arsenal and Barcelona for you. Ronald Koeman still also on the pinpoint to see whether they will be getting this. But of course, another big on that pinpoint is Manchester United. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who of course is one of the big names. Probably odds keep dropping on him, keep going higher and keep dropping. Why am I saying this? Manchester United was ejected out of the EFL or the Carabao Cup. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's statement was, we need to start better every time. And that was the biggest statement. But out of that, I could outline one player by the names of Donny van de Beek, who had an outstanding performance, and he was the man of the match in that game. After quite a long time, he has got his first man of the match in the Manchester United shirt right there. Let's start with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer before we get to Donny van de Beek. Futures of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer surviving before January.
Well, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has had a backup plan. I mean, I should say somebody who can save his job. He brought in Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo is the player who is going to save his job. Because week in, week out, at least Cristiano Ronaldo is doing something. Much as the team can lose, but I think Cristiano Ronaldo will score at one point. But one of the other players who is going to make him get sacked soon is Jadon Sancho. The style of play at Manchester United does not suit Jadon Sancho at all. I kept on saying this on other platforms that I am so much a fan of Jadon Sancho, but I am not a fan of him featuring at Manchester United, because I look at the players at Manchester United and I look at the style of the league, in fact the shape of how the Premier League is, and seeing how Jadon Sancho can fit. There was only one club that I kept on saying it could have been Manchester City for him, but for him to be at Manchester United, it will be a hard nut to crack for me, because look at how Borussia Dortmund was. Free-flowing type of football. I can just kick a ball and I know it's going to get my colleague positioned this way. How many crosses has he delivered in the box? How many chances has he created? You can judge a player who is going to succeed by the first game he has actually played. So by far, I think that amount of money spent to me was too much, and the player brought was not the right one. He's a good player, but not so good enough for team Manchester United. He's being brought at a time when you see a player like Mason Greenwood has fitted perfectly well, and you don't see anybody coming to displace him, because he has grown in the team and he knows what is supposed to be done. He knows that this game is not all about tiki-taka. At one point, you need to chase the ball. At one point, you need to drop deep and pick the ball from the fullback. You need to go up. You need to go up forward. You need to cut in. You need to get those chances. You need to get those crosses where Cristiano Ronaldo is. Something Bruno Fernandes is doing extremely very well, because.
But how did Bruno get easily adopted to that league?
Bruno played in the Portuguese league, and the physicality of the Portuguese league, if you compare to the Premier League, is not so different. And again, Bruno complemented well, because the role that workaholic role is being done by the likes of Paul Pogba and sometimes Nemanja Matic in the midfield. His role is to pick up the ball and know where strikers are positioned, to give it there, or sometimes find himself in an advanced role where he can score, because the Paul Pogbas are shielding him very, very well. Sometimes you find it is this Scottish McTominay is with Paul Pogba, or it's Paul Pogba playing Fred or Matic. So the workaholic role is being done. The best, playing on the flanks is demanding. is demanding. You need to drop deep. You need to have at one point or two play like you're playing as a wing back, and he is not. I'm talking about Jadon Sanchez, not that type of a workaholic player who would drop deep. He's good offensively, but defensively he's not good.
Now let's look at Jadon Sancho. Don't you think he needs time? Because we have seen people like talk about Dos Santos Fred, who of late has been a darling at Manchester United, of course, in that midfield after quite a long time, and a lot of criticism came upon him, and but right now he's doing something into the team. Don't you think he needs time? As being a young player, he can still adapt to the play.
How much time did Marcus Rashford need to establish himself in the United team? The first day he was brought against Arsenal, he scored a brace. He didn't look back.
How much from the academy?
Yes. How much?
Sancho has been in another league.
He was in this league. He was with Manchester City before he crossed to Borussia Dortmund.
But of course, by then you wouldn't give that much chance with.
Yes, he played well under Pep. Only that because there was limited opportunity for him to break into the first team. He had to actually tell Pep he wants to go to Borussia Dortmund.
Of course, by the time that game comes in there, the football in Premier League has changed a lot.
Yes, that's why you are a professional.
That's what you need to adapt.
Gambler.
You need to adapt.
You need to adapt. So
we have seen players who go to
easy crossing from Manchester City to Borussia Dortmund. He had already felt the physical or how things are done in the Premier League. He's not a newcomer. And then he went to Borussia Dortmund. He played at top level at UEFA Champions League. He played competing to even win in the German Pokal. He played in the Bundesliga. So coming, he had already established himself. So we don't expect him to start from the lows. Look at how Mason Greenwood, given that opportunity, he had grabbed it.
Just like you said, he's from the academy and he's learned the style of play. He has been there. He has acclimatized it to the area.
So what is stopping Jadon Sancho? Because they've been given the same opportunity, the same team. What is stopping him from adapting so fast?
He was last season. Greenwood was last season.
Don't leave alone last season.
You look at the man by the names of Jadon Sancho. He's just how many games? Few games from Borussia Dortmund to Manchester.
Yes, we need.
Look at the training. Even the training session. At least that has been with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Greenwood for quite a long time. He knows what Ole was. But now look at Jadon Sancho, who has just he's getting to a month or 2 months to keep himself at Manchester United.
I have never come across anywhere that when you come from another league, you're supposed to be given time because you have come from another league. That doesn't.
Of course, Manchester United, there's always a lot of things.
That doesn't happen anywhere. You have been brought as a professional, but more still as a star. So you're supposed to establish yourself.
You saw Donny van de Beek when he was with Ajax Amsterdam. Yes, he was very good, but at Manchester United, why is he failing?
If you have Paul Pogba, you have Scott McTominay, you have Fred, and all these people are actually are showing potential and they're improving in each and every game. And must you put them on the subs bench?
Of course, that is not the case, but there are a lot of games that Manchester United playing. Like
and
Carabao, was given a chance.
That's why Carabao, and it's very important. He doesn't have playing time, and him as an individual should have looked into this. I don't have playing time, and the playing time is all that I need. Why couldn't I maybe get a loan move and go away, so that I get that first team challenge, so that by the time I come back, I know that I would have established.
Don't you think he needs to do more? Because you look at Fred, we are talking about, he even made sure that the Matic, who were darlings, were put down.
Yes.
He's playing. Talk about Scott McTominay. He was from nowhere. He has got playing time. That means Van de Beek needs to do more. You saw his game against Carabao. I'm telling you, he got the man of the match. That means he did more, and he played full 90 minutes.
From the first day Scott McTominay was given his debut, he has never failed to impress.
That's what I'm saying. Doing more to yourself.
Yes. So that the same challenge is what Jadon Sancho should take. That now that you've been given this opportunity in the first team, it's not a guarantee. Your only guarantee would be if you are grabbing it and you are doing what is expected of you. If you're not doing it, the coach will not wait for him to first fail. The coach will want results. So before the results start not coming, the coach will not wait for you to first start adapting. He will use other players who can get for him the results. So it's very simple. I can't wait for you to first wait to adapt. I'm giving you the opportunity, the 90 minutes you're playing. If you can't adapt, it is your business.
Another big game will be coming in the due course of the weekend. I'm talking about Saturday early kickoff. 2 games will be coming, and tomorrow we'll be coming here to see that we analyze for you before, of course, the game. Of course, the game will be starting at 2:30. So that's one of the biggest things. 2:30. That's where the games will be starting, and we have Chelsea, of course, Manchester City. Another tough one for Chelsea. Manchester United will be against Aston Villa. Those are 2 early kickoff games in there at 2:30. But in Chelsea, one player, Antonio Rudiger, was the player who came, just like you're saying, Jordan Sancho. Now, this time round, Antonio Rudiger, we saw him under Lampard. Lampard started trusting him, gave him the chance. The back three was working. Antonio Conte has still come back and given him that chance. He is now being eyed by 6 clubs in there. Is it still about his hard work?
Actually, I think under Lampard was when they actually almost sold him. Not until Thomas Tuchel came in and had to trust him again alongside Christensen. I think that back three, they have actually been doing well. He's a player who has actually also had his challenges of course, Barcelona racism and other things. But I think he has positioned himself, he has accepted the situation the way it is, and he's challenging himself each and every day. And that is what a professional player should always do. You should always take up those challenges. You face those racism, but how you handle those challenges is what actually will keep you going. Why didn't the likes of Drogba have those kind of challenges? Why did the likes of, yes, I knew that in the German Bundesliga, the likes of J.J. Okocha faced that a lot, but still, they persisted and look at what it actually gave them. So I he's one of a player with a potential, but I don't think he should make that switch soon. They still have a potential of winning bigger things under Thomas Tuchel.
Now, of course, that is one of the biggest, and we would love to stop here for now and say maybe a lot will be coming for tomorrow's edition, as we will be giving you more of the stories internationally, because games are going to be coming every day now. And of course, just to say something, Papa of JB Electronics, I know, is one great fans of the Whistle Time, and a great fan of Whistle Time means that he always keeps watching right there. He's a Man U fan, and things are not okay. He was asking me whether Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be fired soon, and that's the same question I want to direct to Oscar, because I couldn't give him the answer. Do you think Ole will be fired soon, since you said he has Cristiano Ronaldo, which may maintain his of course, his stay at Manchester United? But do you think that possibility of firing him is a very soon thing to come?
It's 50% yes, 50% no. More will come in tomorrow's analysis.
Stay hooked to your TV, and of course a lot coming in there. Follow us on the channel 477 on Star Times, and of course stream us live on YouTube and our Facebook. And at the same time, the West Nile, of course, TV website is active. I want to say thank you so much for keeping it right hooked to West Nile TV, and have a blessed day.
West Nile TV, lighting up the region.